give me a T. T, give me a B. B, give me an R. R, what does that spell? Wait, no. TBR. This is my February TBR video. Yay! Right, so I am going to apologise once again for the crappy background, but once again, the neighbour's dog is barking its bloody head off in the garden, so I can't film where I normally film. And as has become the norm over the last few months, February is going to be pretty packed with ARCs because, yeah, I've still got 30 or just short of 30 outstanding waiting to be read and reviewed, so I'm trying to catch up with those. However, I did say in one of my goals that I wanted to try and make time for reading books that I already own or that I'm like really desperate to read, really, you know, like highly anticipated books. So even though I've got to squeeze in a lot of ARCs, I'm also going to try and squeeze in 3 books that I really want to read. And the first one is Girl A by Abigail Dean. I don't actually know what this one is really about. I don't know why I have been desperate to read it. I even pre-ordered it because I thought it sounded great, but I don't actually know what it's about. It just says, it looked like a good cover. The title reminded me of a couple of books that came out round about the Rochdale sex scandal time, or Rochdale sex ring scandal, shall I say. And they were titled like Girl A, Girl C, things like that. So it kind of reminded me of that. So I thought it might have been like, you know, childhood abuse type thing. Also, it says that the rights of the book has been sold in over 26 countries. It's going to be made into a TV show. And I was like, that sounds amazing. It's going to be great. But yeah, don't actually know really what it's about. From reading the synopsis, so we've got a girl called Lex Grace who grew up in her parents' house of horrors. And it sounds like that was like a very abusive home as a child. And as she gets older, she is trying to distance herself from her past. However, when her parents die, they leave the house, this childhood home, to Lex and her siblings. And it talks about having to come to terms with the childhood that they went through and having to come to terms with each other, which I'm not sure what that's about, but that sounds quite intriguing. And it's kind of been said to be great for fans of Room by Emma Donoghue, which I enjoyed the concept and I thought it was really interesting. I just wasn't keen on the writing. And then also fans of My Dark Vanessa, which is still on my priority list to read. And We Need to Talk About Kevin, which is another one that I've been really wanting to read. So it sounds like it's a bit like Dark Academia. I'm not sure, but it sounds great, so I'm going to read this one. And then next, I have got, I'm so excited, Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. So we followed Jane, who was born 2 days before the dead started to rise and walk the earth. So yes, this is a zombie novel. However, it's historical fiction. I picked this up because I really enjoyed Pride, Prejudice and Zombies, so I thought maybe another historical fiction zombie twist might work. I'm really excited to read this as well, can't wait. So Jane is raised and she ends up going into Miss Preston's School of Combat for Negro girls. She is being trained to be an attendant. So basically she will serve well-off families within society and protect them from the zombies. And Jane does not want to do that. She just wants to go back home to her family. However, something happens and she gets kind of caught up in some kind of conspiracy. There's families going missing. She ends up getting caught up in that as well. And yeah, it just sounds really good. I don't know fully what to expect going in, but I can't wait. And I really do want to read Deathless Divide as well, which is the next one, but I'm never in a million years going to fit it into this month. The third book that I'm going to be prioritising this month. In fact, I've already started it over this weekend. I'll not finish it till February, so I'll count it as a February book. And I'm not going to show the cover either. It is called Scalp by Carver Pike. I am not putting the cover up because it may freak some people out. This is a horror which is based on head lice, and they jump from person to person, sucking all the blood out and killing the person and turning them into some kind of like zombie that then seeks other people to infect. Yeah, you can understand now why I'm not going to put the cover up, but if it sounds intriguing to you, please go and have a look. Like I said, I've started it already, so I can tell you that I'm really enjoying it. It's a really easy read. It feels a little like YA in the easiness of the story. However, it's not. There's certain parts, certain language and things that happen that are definitely not YA, but it's that kind of easy read level, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go on about this much in my February wrap up neither, because it may put some people off. So next up we've got Black Widows by Kate Quinn. This is the first arc out of this video. This follows a guy who is a polygamist and he lives in Utah, where he's got a plot of land. He's built a large home for him and his 3 wives. And everything's going great. The 3 wives are all very different characters from what I've seen on the synopsis. You know, like one's very loyal and quiet and doting, another's quite rebellious, etc. And everything's going great, but then he turns up dead and nobody knows which of the 3 wives killed him. And that is the entire plot as far as I know, but I think it sounds really great, and it's giving me vibes of The Wives by Taryn Fisher, which I know some people hated but I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into this. The next arc is called Overdue by Amity Reed. This is a medical memoir of a midwife, so this also ticks off one of my goals to prioritise reading medical memoirs as much as possible, because I absolutely love them most of the time. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this. There's not much else I can tell you about it. They're all, you know, they just do what they say on the tin. It's just a memoir of a midwife. I think she does kind of look at some of the ways the NHS works and some of the ways that she thinks things could run better from her time on the front line, I guess. But yeah, that's another one I'm hoping to fly through this month. And let's go right back to the freaky deaky stuff. Next up is The Children God Forgot by Graham Masterson. Now, Graham Masterson is well known within the horror world. However, this is the first book of his that I've read. I have heard great things about it because I'm a little behind in arcs, so plenty of people have already read this, and there's been people talking about how they were desperate to get the arc and didn't get it. So yeah, I feel privileged. I can't wait to read this. So there's a rash of horrific, strange births that are happening across London. So we've got a woman who gives birth, and up until giving birth everything seemed fine. However, when she gives birth, the baby is born with tentacles like a squid instead of limbs. And these weird malformed babies, it's like a spate of them across London, not just this one. Then there's other weird events happening. So we've got a couple of workers who were in the sewer tunnels doing some essential work. Something really weird happens, only one escapes. The other one is then found later mutilated and tortured. And there's some detectives who get involved, and they're looking into all these weird events and trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, I cannot wait for this one. And this next one, I am going to have to read the title off my laptop because I can't remember it at all. It's 121 Days, the Corbin Raymond story of fighting for life and surviving a traumatic brain injury. This is written by Sadie, Corbin's mother. It's based around one day Sadie got the phone call that all parents, it's the nightmare to receive this phone call that your child has been in an accident and they're very seriously injured. What had happened was Corbin was a passenger in a car that was involved in an accident, and it hit a tree. He was quite severely injured and was rushed off to hospital. He spent some time literally fighting for his life in intensive care. From what I understand, this book follows the initial kind of incident and all his fighting, and then from what I gather, I think it's like part of his rehabilitation and then trying to get back to some sort of life. It does say that it contains like real-time journal entries and other information from other family members and professionals that were involved. So it is it epistolary? Is that the word? One of those books that's made up of lots of different like letters and diary entries and interview transcripts. Epistolary, is it? I feel like that's it. However, I am not sure, but if that's the word I'm looking for, it does meet one of the prompts on the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge if anyone is interested. So yeah, I think that's going to be quite a hard emotional read, especially as a mother of boys. I dread to think what mine are going to get up to when they're older, especially the small crazy one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into something that just grabs you emotionally. And this next book is Mother by Laura Jarrett. Part of me is really regretting requesting this as an ARC on NetGalley because this book is about my biggest fear in life, and that is having to choose between my two children in like a life or death scenario. It's just something that has always from the little one being born, and I then had two, and I was just like, how would you ever choose if anything happened? So it's something that really gets to me, so I don't know why. Yeah, I think this is going to play on my mind a lot. So I'm kind of looking forward to reading it for the, I know it's going to grip me kind of entertainment value, but then I'm kind of not looking forward to reading it because I know it might be quite triggering for me, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. So what happens is Lizzie and her two little girls are involved in a car accident. And Lizzie faces this horrific choice of which one to rescue or which one to get out of the car. And when she eventually comes round in hospital, she has to face the impact of her choice of which child she chose, and the other one didn't survive. And then as the family try to like get to grips with what have happened and try to, I guess, figure a way to get through everyday life, they also have to try and learn out about what really happened that night of the car accident and who was responsible. So yeah, I think that's going to be quite a difficult read for me. I mean, throw zombies at me, throw serial killers, throw creepy crawlies at me, fine. Body horror, fan, whatever, but this is my trigger, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. The next arc on the hit list is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. This is set in a sanatorium. Who would have thunk it, eh? Right, it used to be used to treat TB patients many years ago, then it fell into disrepair and was abandoned, and then a company bought it, turned it into a big fancy hotel. So, current day, we have Eileen, who is a police detective, but she's on a career break after a difficult case. Her brother gets engaged and decides to have the engagement celebration at the Sanatorium Hotel. Eileen goes along. Whilst they're there, her brother's fiancé goes missing, and then a big avalanche and snowstorms happen so that they're all closed in and stuck in, and then a body is found, and it becomes a race against time to figure out who the killer is before they strike again. Sounds fantastic. Sounds like the perfect wintry closed in thriller. So I think this is the last month that I would be all ready to read it, because it's, we're going to get to spring soon. And next is Safe and Sound by Philippa East. As soon as I saw this on NetGalley, I requested it because I read Little White Lies by Philippa East last year, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I think I gave it 5 stars from memory. So yeah, I was like, yep, give me another one, let's go. So in this one, we have Jen, who goes along with bailiffs to evict a female tenant. When they get there, the female tenant is found curled up on the sofa, totally dead. And she's been there like that for like 10 months. So when they start looking into things to figure out how this woman has been, you know, left for 10 months, nobody's ever come across her or reported her missing or anything, they see that she seems to be quite pretty, charismatic, got friends, full of life. So how on earth did nobody miss her for 10 months? And that is the bit that got me intrigued. So yeah, I'm all for this one. And finally, we have got Last One at the Party by Bethany Clift. This one is like a virus post-apocalyptic thing because I seem to want to read them all the time. Now I'm living a real pandemic. But yeah, so the human race has been completely wiped out by this virus called 6DM. That stands for 6 days maximum, which is how long people have got until, you know, the virus just completely kills them off. However, one woman survives, and this woman has spent her life kind of doing what other people expect her to do and compromising and not following her dreams and things like that. And now it's like, well, she can do what she wants. She is the last woman alive. So what kind of person is she going to turn out to be now that she can really be herself? And that's literally all I know, but it just sounded really good because I like pandemic books. So I'm just really keen to see, I guess, what the real story is. Like, I know we've got this one woman survivor, but what about her, you know? What's the storyline here? So I'm really hoping that I can fit that one last arc in this month. Because that will be 11 actual, you know, eyeball reading books. And then I'll, as usual, fit in a bunch of audiobooks that I can listen to whilst I'm working and doing housework. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will see you all soon in another video. Bye.